The empire that conquered the world did not collapse in a single night. It died slowly, like a wounded giant bleeding into the dirt while pretending to still stand tall. At its height, the Roman Empire ruled lands so vast that a man could travel for months beneath Roman banners and never leave imperial territory. Its legions crushed kingdoms. Its emperors were worshipped like gods. Its cities glittered with marble, gold, and blood. But the very power that made Rome unstoppable became the poison that rotted it from within. Wealth became corruption. Expansion became exhaustion. Emperors became tyrants. And while Romans celebrated victory inside their arenas, death was already approaching their gates. Before we begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe, because stories like this are not myths. They happened. And the fall of Rome remains one of the darkest warnings in human history. Long before Rome ruled the world, it was only a struggling city beside the Tiber River. Its streets smelled of mud, sweat, livestock, and smoke. Yet from this harsh beginning emerged a people obsessed with discipline, conquest, and glory. Roman fathers raised sons to endure pain without tears. Weakness was despised. Strength became religion. Rome's armies expanded relentlessly across Italy. Village after village fell beneath iron swords and disciplined formations. Defeat only hardened the Romans. Even when entire legions were slaughtered, they returned stronger. Their enemies feared something terrifying about Rome. Romans did not know when to stop. Rome's armies expanded relentlessly across Italy. Village after village fell beneath iron swords and disciplined formations. Defeat only hardened the Romans. Even when entire legions were slaughtered, they returned stronger. Their enemies feared something terrifying about Rome. Romans did not know when to stop. Victory changed Rome forever. Gold flooded the Republic. Slaves arrived by the hundreds of thousands. Wealthy elites built enormous villas while ordinary citizens grew poorer. The Republic still claimed to value honor and civic virtue, but greed had entered Rome like a disease no physician could cure. As Rome expanded across the Mediterranean, its generals became dangerously powerful. Soldiers no longer fought for the Republic alone. They fought for commanders who promised riches and land. Loyalty shifted from senate to sword. This transformation would become fatal. Civil wars erupted like storms across the Republic. Romans slaughtered fellow Romans in streets once meant for triumphal parades. Political rivals were assassinated openly. Heads were displayed in public forums. The Republic was becoming something darker, something far more violent. Then came Julius Caesar. Brilliant, ambitious, adored by his soldiers, Caesar conquered Gaul with horrifying efficiency. Entire tribes vanished beneath Roman brutality. Villages burned through the night while survivors were chained and marched away. Rome celebrated him as a hero. Others feared him as a future king. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon River with his army, he shattered Roman law forever. Civil war consumed the Republic again. Pompey fled. Senators panicked. Caesar emerged victorious, draped in glory and ambition. But Rome had once expelled kings, and many senators feared dictatorship more than chaos. On the Ides of March, Caesar entered the Senate chamber, unaware that death waited beside his friends. Daggers flashed beneath marble columns. He was stabbed again and again while blood soaked his robes. Ancient writers claimed he looked at Brutus in disbelief before collapsing at the foot of Pompey's statue. Caesar's murder did not save the Republic. It destroyed it. Riots exploded across Rome. Crowds screamed for vengeance. The young Octavian, later known as Augustus, rose from the chaos with cold intelligence and terrifying patience. One by one, his enemies disappeared. Augustus transformed Rome into an empire while pretending the Republic still lived. Under him, Rome entered an age of enormous wealth and stability. Roads stretched across continents. Aqueducts carried water into crowded cities. Massive temples rose toward the sky. But peace came at a cost. Absolute power now rested in one man. Augustus transformed Rome into an empire while pretending the Republic still lived. Under him, Rome entered an age of enormous wealth and stability. Roads stretched across continents. Aqueducts carried water into crowded cities. Massive temples rose toward the sky. But peace came at a cost. Absolute power now rested in one man. Some emperors ruled wisely, others ruled through madness and cruelty. Caligula reportedly declared himself divine and humiliated senators for amusement. Nero watched Rome burn, while suspicion spread that he himself had started the fire. Fear became part of daily life inside the imperial palace. Rome's borders expanded farther than ever before. Legions marched through deserts, forests, and frozen frontiers. Yet each conquest demanded more soldiers, more money, and more control. The empire had become too enormous to govern easily. Distance itself became an enemy. Beyond Rome's frontiers, tribes watched patiently. Goths, Vandals, Franks, and Huns studied Roman weaknesses. For centuries, Rome crushed outsiders with ruthless precision. But slowly, the balance began to change. Rome's enemies learned Roman tactics, while Rome itself grew softer and divided. Inside the empire, corruption spread everywhere. Politicians bribed voters openly. Governors exploited provinces for personal wealth. Tax collectors drained peasants until families starved. Ordinary Romans increasingly viewed the empire not as protector, but as predator. Economic disaster followed. Coins were debased until silver disappeared almost entirely. Prices skyrocketed. Trade weakened. Farmers abandoned land they could no longer afford to keep. In crowded cities, hunger and desperation became common companions. Then came plague. Disease swept through Roman cities with terrifying speed. Corpses piled in streets beneath the smell of smoke and decay. Entire families vanished within days. Soldiers died before reaching battlefields. Fear spread faster than armies ever could. As crisis deepened, emperors rose and fell violently. Some ruled only months before assassination. Generals proclaimed themselves emperor, while rival armies marched against each other. Civil war consumed Rome repeatedly, weakening the empire far more effectively than foreign invasion. Emperor Diocletian attempted to save Rome by dividing imperial power between multiple rulers. For a time, the strategy restored order, but it also revealed a painful truth. The empire had become too vast for one center to control. Unity itself was beginning to fracture. Then Constantine embraced Christianity, forever changing Roman identity. Churches replaced temples. Crosses appeared where statues of old gods once stood. Some Romans believed Christianity weakened traditional martial values. Others saw it as salvation in a collapsing world. Meanwhile, pressure mounted along Rome's borders. The arrival of the Huns terrified entire populations. Refugees flooded into Roman territory seeking safety. Desperate and starving, many eventually rebelled against Roman mistreatment. The empire had created enemies within its own walls. At the Battle of Adrianople, Roman forces suffered catastrophic defeat against the Goths. Emperor Valens himself died in the chaos. For many historians, this battle marked the moment Rome lost its aura of invincibility. The empire could bleed. The empire could fail. Rome split permanently into eastern and western halves. The Eastern Roman Empire grew wealthier and more stable from Constantinople, but the West descended into weakness. Emperors became puppets controlled by generals, while provinces slipped beyond imperial control. Then came the Visigoths under Alaric. In the year 410, Rome itself was sacked. For 3 horrifying days, the Eternal City echoed with screams, fire, and breaking doors. Citizens hid inside churches while invaders looted treasures accumulated across centuries of conquest. The psychological wound was immense. Rome had once seemed eternal. Even enemies believed the city could never truly fall. But now smoke rose above its sacred monuments. The illusion of immortality had died. More invasions followed. Vandals crossed into North Africa and seized critical grain supplies. Without food, Rome weakened further. The Western Empire struggled to pay soldiers or defend borders. Entire regions simply stopped obeying imperial authority. In 451, Attila the Hun approached Roman lands like a nightmare from the east. Villages burned before his armies. Refugees crowded roads carrying children and whatever possessions they could salvage. Though Attila never destroyed Rome itself, his shadow deepened imperial terror. Finally, in 476, the last Western Roman emperor, Romulus Augustus, was removed from power. There was no grand final battle, no glorious ending, just exhaustion. A once unstoppable empire faded quietly into history while barbarian kings ruled its former territories. Yet Rome never truly disappeared. Its laws shaped nations. Its language evolved into new tongues. Its architecture inspired future empires. Even now, the ghost of Rome lingers across the modern world, but its fall remains a warning carved into history itself. No empire, no matter how rich or feared, survives forever. Power creates ambition. Ambition creates excess. And excess eventually devours the very civilization that once believed itself eternal.